Black Sabbath Master of Reality cassette tape. And I guess it counts as bought because I did buy it from my friend. You know, my dad was all into folk music and all that, like Simon and Garfunkel, stuff like that. So I already had, you know, came from a family where he had a giant record collection and everything. And I naturally was already into guitar rock and getting into heavier things. So, you know, when I was young and started, you know, riding BMX bikes and all that, you know, metal and punk and all that kind of stuff, along with like skating and biking kind of went hand in hand. So I hooked up with this dude, Sean, that was into a lot of the more heavy stuff as far as rock and roll goes, and he had a Master of Reality cassette that I ended up buying off him for a couple of bucks or whatever. Oh, definitely. So I had IRCs, you know, sending SACEs and all that good stuff for communication back in the day. So that was just normal practice. I wasn't as hardcore with like the whole, you know, send me back your stamps deal or like cut it out and repaste it to me. I kind of just kept getting them and sending them overseas. I think they were like $1.25 or something back in the day, if I remember correctly. But you know, once I started getting involved in the underground around here, and obviously there's tons of other Cleveland folks that you know, exposed me to a lot of killer stuff and set me on my way with writing bands not only in the U.S. and regionally and overseas. You know, that kind of just happened naturally. So as you get more zines and you get more contact information, or you get other tapes, you know, or people sending you little mailer flyers where you can get someone's contact info, it's only natural that you start writing bands from overseas as you know, the bug starts catching on of the underground, and, you know, you seek outside your normal sphere to get more sick, heavy, or repulsive shit. So yeah, plenty of times, man. If I had to rank them, I'd probably say Empire, Flashes, Peabody's, Red Eye, Fantasy, and those are my top ones. These days, here in Cleveland now, we got Now That's Class. That's pretty much my favorite venue. You know, and the Foundry as well, and the Agora downtown for your larger tours, because, you know, they're running theater size, you know, operations, so you're only going to get like your Morbid Angel and stuff like that playing down there. But yeah, we're lucky, man. Have a lot of killer clubs, and I really miss Flashes in the Red Eye and the Empire, especially today, man. Well, I don't know. There's so many of them, but I think, you know, what Jim was really famous for were one-liners. Like, he would just zing you out of nowhere with just some one-liner. All right. And the good thing with me and Jim Kanya and a lot of us around here is all of us in Cleveland take our metal seriously, you know, so we can be very opinionated about different things. So, you know, me and Jim would always go back and forth about different things, and you know, he'd bust my chops, I bust his chops, and that's kind of how he was with everybody. But when it came to trading metal and everything, he was the best. And I've kind of adopted some of that over the years as well, where, you know, I don't charge for everything I hand out either. I hand out stickers and CDs and trade shirts and do, you know, hand them out for free, all that kind of stuff too. But I guess an example of one of his one-liners that we always still laugh about around here is that, you know, Peabody's, that club I mentioned, used to have a lot of mixed genre shows. They'd run like 3 stages. So you might have like an obituary tour there, but stage 2 has like regular local bands, and stage 3 has like your tier 3 type bands that sold tickets, all that kind of stuff. So, you know, we'd all be hanging out there, and Jim's name kind of got around town as a metal guy, obviously, and even to the younger crowd. So I remember a kid coming up to him like, "Hey man, do you get into Korn?" He goes, "Only with butter." Or basically, you know, they were asking him if he likes Korn, and he didn't even think about it. Like, instantly, he's like, "Only with butter, man."
Classic.
Well, that's easy, man. I mean, I've been, preaching this for years. It's Immolation, Dawn of Possession, and I know their popularity has gotten way more, out in the mainstream these days with how hard they've worked and how many albums they put out and tours they've done. But Dawn of Possession has pretty much always been my number one death metal record, since I heard that. So that's instantly what I would hand them. Oh shit, man! There's so many good ones, man. Devastation, I love them, man. If I had to pick one band, I might pick Devastation. If you're talking just any metal, all right. I love that entire era of early '90s demo stuff, though, too, man. Like the Temples of Awful, Absu demo, the Imprecation. Obviously, I'm repping today with the Ceremony demo T-shirt on that I got from Phil Westmoreland. How many freaking years ago? Severance, a very underrated band. Used to write "Hide Me" all the time. So Severance, Embalmed. That was really cool because I used to always love the Pieces Remain and the Boiling Humans demo. So with Embalmer, when we got to actually go do, 3 or 4 or 5 dates, I forget how many it was, in 2014 down in Texas, and it was Embalmer and Embalmed, me and Brian Baxter especially that used to write those dudes. We were pretty pumped about doing that. So if I had to pick one band, gun to my head, I'd probably say, Devastation. But if I had to just make a grouping, I would say all that early '90s, Magus, Absu, Imprecation, Embalm, Crucifixion, Severance, all that nasty shit.